What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of Season 1 of Pod and Play here on BossRushGames.com and YouTube.com/BossRushGames. I'm your host, Corey Dierig, and alongside me is the man, the myth, the legend, that retro code, Eddie V.
I don't know. Dang it, I can't get in there right. Hello, everybody.
I was trying to come up with something cool name for you, but I missed terribly, so I just kind of went with it. So, yeah.
You should have said the Sushi Samurai Eddie V.
Oh, I could have, but I didn't. So, my bad. But we're taking a look at Okami, a lot of people say the best Zelda game that Nintendo never made. It was made by Capcom. It's as you can see, the art style is probably the standout of this game. It's definitely one of those games that probably deserves to. I think people have grown to appreciate it more over the years. So I think the art style and just making it HD and really bringing it to modern consoles really made this game make it a classic. It originally came out on the PlayStation 2 and then got a Wii port and then has been ported to HD consoles ever since. So Ed, you love this game. I've never played this game.
Yes. Okay. So, this game is developed by Clover and published by Capcom. Clover was created by, once again, Hideo Kamiya. If you guys checked our Devil May Cry 5 episode, you can see I ran a little bit how Devil May Cry was actually started by him. So he split it. Capcom gave him his own kind of crew within Capcom to produce games. So you have games like Okami and Beautiful Joe and Beautiful Joe 2. And this game was a different art style aesthetically in the video game arena. As you can see, of course, we had cel shaded, but this was taking actual Japanese influence of Umi-e prints, and you guys could look that up on Wikipedia on what that is. So they matched that art style of Umi-e and cel shading together. And I remember the first time I saw this game in EGM, and I was just like, I need to know what this is all about. And I just read more and more, and I literally had to drive to a whole nother city to pre-order this game. No other store was taking pre-orders for it, but a certain GameStop was taking pre-orders, so I went to that GameStop and pre-ordered it. The day it came out, I left work, went through 5 o'clock traffic to get the game, and came all the way here. I literally had to take a vacation just to play the whole game. It may be one of my greatest games of all times. And it has comedy, a little bit seriousness to it. But it's a great, like Corey said, Zelda clone, in that sense. When it first came out, and you can see here, there is a lot of cutscene and a lot of talking. So it takes a while to actually get into the game, and you had to beat the game originally to do all the cutscenes, like to skip it and everything. Corey, I think if you press if you want to let everybody see the story, you can. I think if you press the plus button on Switch, you can skip it.
Oh no, they're seeing this whole thing.
Okay.
They're gonna experience it the way we have to experience it.
Okay.
Look, if they don't want to see the story, they can turn the video off. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you guys can fast forward it.
But your information is so important. It's so vital to the experience.
Yes. So, it was such a phenomenal game. It didn't sell well. But Clover still, uh, when Capcom just started to see on how much people love Okami, and there was like a sequel for the 3DS that had like a baby Amaterasu. I didn't get a chance to play it, but man, just looking at this game and playing it, I was just like, it had such a cult following. When Capcom decided to bring the HD version out, um, they made it more clearer, the colors more richer and stuff. There is some comparisons out there, but you kind of got to think that it was on the PlayStation 2 versus the PlayStation 3 or 360 version. So they kind of tightened some things up and everything. It's still a gorgeous game. And what Okami is pretty much about is that you do have a regular kind of combat system with this fire wheel that's on your back. But at times, not all your attacks are going to work on certain enemies. So you have to freeze the game, and you'll see this art pen come out, or this brush come out, the celestial brush come out, and you will slide the brush, or you would do different things with it, and it uses up ink, and it will help you get through some of the puzzles and fight through some of the enemies. It was a very cool concept, and it kind of takes the Japanese can I think of it, like when they do the animals and stuff, you're the dragon, you're the tiger and stuff like that. It takes that, and those animals give you additional celestial brush movements and abilities for it. And it was just something like so fresh and so new. Yeah, this is kind of first the Zelda style clone game, and then surprisingly Darksiders became the second game to have like a Zelda clone reference to it.
Yeah, this is a game that I always wanted to play and just never got around to it because I was playing other RPGs at the time, and I was really into like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 10 and 12 at the time, and and plus I was really into GameCube and Halo 2 on Xbox at the time. Like, I was just so distracted by a bunch of other games that I had, and it was at a time where I was in college, living in the dorms with friends, and we were playing Halo or Mario Kart or Smash, you know what I mean? Like, we were playing those types of games, or Madden, or when I had my own free time, I was playing through Kingdom Hearts and Zelda and stuff like that, to the point where like I really just missed this game. This game, there was a few games that I missed that I really wish I would have played at the time. One was this, one was Shadow of the Colossus, and what was the other one? There was one other one that was similar to, like, it was really kind of had a unique art style, and this was just one that I missed, and I ended up getting it on Wii, and I never played it because I was too busy playing other stuff. Which is sad, because I really think that this game has a beautiful art style, and really, I would say, a unique and a unique protagonist that stands out. The wolf stands out, It's just a really pretty game, and as you guys can see from this opening cutscene, a lot of story build up, a lot of really just kind of giving you the backstory here. But once you get into the game, it's very colorful, very bright, very unique, and then, like you said, with the paintbrush stuff, really makes the game stand out, and which is why a lot of people actually preferred the Wii version for a long time. Because it was very, you could actually use the Wii remote as a paintbrush. So
that's how they did Pikmin 2 on when they brought it to Wii. how you could use the Wiimote, and then if you think of Pikmin 3 on Wii U, using the Wii controls for that and the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, I mean, Pikmin 3, like, if we're talking about Wii U for a second, the Wii Remote is still the best way to play that game.
Yes.
It's still, like, one of the 3 games where I feel like the Wii Remote is the best way to play, to experience the game. You know, Wii Sports is one, Pikmin is one, and then, you know, there's not very many games where I feel like, okay, well, the Wii Remote really made this experience what it is, instead of, you know, I could have used a classic controller on this and been perfectly fine. You know, like Zelda, I wish would have just had classic controls, right? Or even Metroid Prime 3, I wish would have had just classic controls. But the other game I think would probably be Boombox. The Wii Remote on Boombox was really fun. But anyways, see, so, like, yeah, you get to see all the colors start coming in now, and I think the game still looks really good. You can tell it's dated. Like, some of the polygonal stuff in the game is dated. You know, some of the assets don't have correct shadows and stuff, and that's just from it being programmed for the PS2, right? Like, I really feel like if Capcom was going to remake a game, I wonder if this game would ever get, like, a proper remake and just have everything done, you know, in a modern sense, but still keep this feel. Since, you know, we were talking about remakes with on the Devil May Cry episode with Resident Evil and stuff, and how Capcom is having a resurgence, right? Like,
yes.
I really wonder if they would go back and actually, like, do this game justice in a modern sense. Now, I know there was a story coming out that came out that said they wanted to do a sequel to this, but I don't think anything was ever confirmed. But they do have ideas for, like, a sequel. And I know there was either a prequel or a side story come out on what, 3DS?
3DS, yeah, I'll mention that.
So, you know, it's not like this franchise is completely dead, you know. I think, you know, in a space where smaller games can thrive, right, you could put a sequel out digital only for $30 and people would probably like it. So that's just my kind of 2 cents on this game that I've never played. So a lot of firsts for me on this season of Pod and Play, Ed. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of firsts.
Yeah, Okami has been with me ever since the game was announced and the day I brought it, you know. And to me personally, it just never disappoints. Like, I just get in the zone of loving this game and really want to get through it and go through all of the dungeons. And you could do additional side quests and stuff by feeding the animals or drawing water, drawing the sun, and like helping around with some of the people. You get rewarded with points and everything, and it's so fun. And like all the comedic bits are like so much on time, and it just, to me, it never grows old, you know. And it has an RPG mechanic where you're buying items and you're buying new weapons and stuff. And I kind of want to, since I'm playing it on Xbox One, I kind of want to 100% everything, because I never got a chance to do it on PlayStation 3. I bought it, but I just never started it up because of playing other games. You know, sometimes you buy a game and it's just on your system or in your library and you completely forget about it. So since I'm playing it on Xbox One, I really want 100% everything in this game. So, and it's a good refresher for me to see why I fell in love with this game and what things I miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. During this time, Capcom was being very experimental with the games that they're making. So you had stuff from Clover. You had the Capcom 5, where PN03 and Resident Evil and Killer 7 came out, but two of the other games that they had got canceled and they never came out.
No, that four of them came out.
What was the other? What was the fourth one?
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe. Okay.
Which is the only one of those besides Resident Evil that got a sequel.
Yes.
Piano 3 was really interesting. I had it for GameCube. I have a lot of GameCube games. I wish I had more, but I have a ton of GameCube games. If it came out on GameCube, I bought it. You know. I even have that really hard to find Fire Emblem game.
That is a treasure. You better hold on to that.
I know, dude. I remember, dude, when GameCube was in and PS2 was in, every GameStop in the area had probably like 4 or 5 copies of that game at least for $24.99.
Wow.
Used. Like every single GameStop in this area had at least 3 to 5 copies of that game, and like one day you just couldn't find them.
Funny that you mentioned that. That's how Phoenix Wright actually got popular.
Yeah.
So Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, the first one, when it came to DS, no one knew about it. No one gave that game a chance at all. And so GameStop threw it in a 1999 bid. Mm-hmm. It was $20. Dude, I picked that game up, and I don't know if it was me or what happened, but it flew off the handle after the day I brought it. I just started reading more and more that people were finding this gem of a game. So when people were going to GameStop, they couldn't find it anymore because it sold out. And it was like, Capcom was puzzled on how a game like this, like Phoenix Wright, sold so well. So when they started bringing out the sequels and stuff, people were buying them when they came out, you know, and people were paying like $30 for these DS games from Capcom. It's a weird thing that happened, because they had like 25 copies in the bin, and the week after I bought it, all 25 of them were gone.
Yeah,
we're 24 because I bought one.
Yeah. It's crazy how like just the popularity of games just take off for no reason. Remember that really weird puzzle game for DS called Ectoplankton?
Yes.
And it was like everywhere for like months and months and months, and then one day it just disappeared, and then it became one of the rarest DS games ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Contact by Atlas was a game. It had a mixture of Earthbound and in that game. It was very small, had a limited run. The moment that people bought it, it was hard to find. And I don't know if you ever felt that way, Corey, that you pick up a game that nobody care about, you somehow buy it, and then suddenly, after you buy it, it just ends up disappearing. Like,
I used to have a lot of games like that. I had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for Xbox, the original Xbox, which was extremely hard to find. Like the PS2 version was hard to find, but the original Xbox version was extremely hard to find. I had, I know it wasn't that hard to find but for a while it was Eco was kind of hard to find for PS2.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem, like I said, on GameCube. I do have all of the Capcom 5, but I have 4 of the 5 for GameCube. I have the Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Code Veronica ports for GameCube, which are hard to find. I also have them for Dreamcast, which they're even harder to find. I have quite a bit. I have Valkyrie Profile, the PS1 game, and its strategy guide. I used to have a lot of really hard to find stuff, and then I just got rid of it because I'm like, why do I need this? You know. And like it's what's happening here? Okay. I don't. Why is there a camera on here? Oh, I guess I'm supposed to take a picture of that. Ed, why is there a camera thing on here?
Probably just to show you how.
Oh, the right stick is camera?
Yeah.
Special power. I guess I gotta go in this thing. Finally playing now, by the way. We are 20 minutes into the episode, and I'm just now getting to play. Oh, nope. Another cutscene. But
yeah,
do you own any hard to find things? Like, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have some things that are like hard to find.
I've got a lot of Wii games, a lot of PS3 games that might be hard to find. I have some PS2 games, some Xbox One games, but I would just have to look at them, like Black from EA. I have that on my Xbox One. That was by, I think, Criterion.
Yeah, I have Black also.
I believe I still have Half-Life 2 for Xbox. Cold Fear, J Empire, Star Wars, the BioWare games. I actually still have that Sonic RPG that BioWare did for DS.
Oh, Brotherhood?
3DS. Yeah, I have that. Ghost Trick is another Capcom game that became hard to find. And that was when Capcom was trying rotoscoping in it. I advise people to really look that game up with Ghost Trick. Great game. But yeah, I have some hard to find ones, and I think, and this is gonna kind of change the topic. I've never been to a yard sale that I was able to find games. Like, I've never been to a yard sale. I really want to go to one.
You've never been to a yard sale?
I've never been to a yard sale. As many as they are around here, I've never took the time to walk to one or anything. And I may have to fix that, because you don't think that games that people are selling or they don't want anymore, that you can find in a yard sale.
I've found quite a bit of things. I've found a lot of Super Nintendo stuff at yard sales. The two things you can't find at yard sales are GameCube games and N64 games right now. Like, you just can't find them. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I obtained a holy bone. Breaking all these statues. So, but like I said, like I really want to start collecting GameCube and Dreamcast stuff again. Just, I don't know. I feel like those are the two systems that I would want to collect for. And now that I'm kind of in a space where, like, I have, like, NES and SNES. Yeah, okay. N64 I would actually like to collect for also. But,
Well, before we go more into that, have you ever been to a yard sale, Corey?
Oh yeah, I've been to a lot.
As a kid, or
Both.
Just like for years.
As an adult and as a kid, like my cousin and I used to go yard sailing a lot and try to find games and stuff. So it's, I mean, they're fine. Like I don't really care for yard sales a lot, but like when you find something, like it's always hit or miss, right? And it's more miss than hit. But when you find something that's like, there's where I live, about 45 minutes south of where I live, they have it's like a huge yard sale for the entire city, and like it's like a whole like weekend event. Like they make it an event. They get like food trucks and all these kinds of things. It's almost like a giant flea market, but just down like one huge road, right? It's
nice.
For people who live in where I live, I know a lot of people in the Akron area kind of listen to our podcast, at least, just because it's where I'm from, and I leave stuff to let people know that we have shows. Seville's giant yard sale every year is like it's just like this huge thing, and it's massive, man. I found a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games there for $1 a piece once, and I got, what did I get from there? I think I got Star Fox from there. I got there's something else. Oh, Super Mario RPG there for $1.
Nice.
It was awesome. So for $2, I got Star Fox and Super Mario RPG.
And a lot of people don't realize that they got these treasures with them. You know, they just be like, I don't play this no more. There's no need for me to have it. So I can make some money and get rid of it or and stuff.
Yeah.
And then realize that, shoot, you could have got like $85 to $90 for that game. But yeah, I wish there was more like stuff like that here. Because I would love to go to a yard sale and just buy Xbox and PlayStation games and GameCube, like buy all the old stuff that people don't play anymore, and just have them. Like I don't care if it don't have the book or anything, as long as it has the game and it works. That's all I care for.
What the? I am pressing R and tapping Y. I'm trying to do the dragon thing. Why is my R button not working? I'm very confused. I'm pressing R.
You hold it down R and then pressing the other button.
Yeah. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong.
You're at the dragon.
Yeah.
And that one spot that's missing, you got the...
Oh, I'm just supposed to tap the part that's missing?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I thought I had to trace the stars.
No.
I was trying to trace the stars, and I'm like, what's happening?
Nope.
That was my fault, everybody. Whoops. You guys just saw me do really bad. Man. That was bad.
It's your first time playing, so you're learning, so...
I know, but the instructions were clearly there, and I just kept skipping them. So... Anyways, now that we're kind of in on kind of talking about classic games and like owning them and stuff, I want to talk about, so we in the DMC episode we talked about how Capcom is on this major resurgence, right?
Yes.
I want to talk about another company that's kind of associated with Capcom and classic Nintendo stuff and everything. I want to talk about Konami.
Yes.
Do you think Konami could have a Capcom-like resurgence? With, like, Castlevania... Because they have a lot of franchises that people love, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Metal Gear, Castlevania, I know, is the big one that everybody wants to see return. Contra, we got a new Contra game this year. You played it.
Yeah, a lot of people voted it worst game of 2019. I think Konami was on a roll at one point in this modern era. After Kojima left. And I think, you know, they can have a resurgence. The thing about it is how do they go about having this resurgence? And the reason why I say that is that Konami was big, like I said, on the NES, but they were almost like kind of the kings of arcade games because of all the licensed stuff that they had, their beat 'em ups that they did, their basketball game that they made to kind of rival NBA Jam, you know, Run a Gun and stuff like that. Like, they had a strong run when they moved away from Nintendo, but they kind of lost their way once Metal Gear Solid started defining their business, in a sense. And definitely when they made some games for the N64, and they, you know, kind of started spreading out with some of their games and stuff. They were having some hits and misses and everything, and then once Kojima left, or the turmoil with Kojima happened, people kind of rally against Konami. They never forgave him for that. But seeing signs of the Contra anniversary, the Castlevania anniversary, and stuff like there, it's kind of see where they should go to have that resurgence. You know, they kind of need to make a beat 'em up game that they had back in the day, in the arcade style. Like, so maybe they do need some licensed games to really showcase what they had back in the day. They pretty much could take some of Kojima's titles that he made that they still own and be able to make games like that. What they will make, though, is going to be the question.
Well, a lot of people think they're going to remake the first Metal Gear Solid. It's going to be like they're going to remake it in the Fox engine. Like, I don't know. I that's what people are saying, which I don't think would be a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got Twin Snakes for GameCube, but like it's been almost 20 years since that remake now, and like,
yes,
I know a lot of people still don't really care for it all that much because it changed a lot of things. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think if they want to get people excited for the series again, that's one way to start, especially if they take the time to do it the way that Capcom did Resident Evil 2,
mm-hmm.
and what 3 is going to be like. I really feel like if they did that they would garner interest and really look at this hidden area. What do we got here? Anything? Dumplings. Interesting. Okay. But I think if they really took the time to do that and made a game that people really cared about and made it a really solid experience, and I think Konami could have a Capcom type resurgence, you know, and really, if you start with a really solid remake and then do something like a really good Castlevania style game that you know, I think they could really do it. You know, I think Metal Gear is the series that you start with remakes, and then Castlevania, you make a brand new game. Especially with the success that Bloodstained had, and people are really wanting that Castlevania feel. Like, I know there's a lot of Metroidvanias out there, right? And a lot of them feel really good, but a lot of them are more hearkening to the Metroid aspect of it and not the dark aspect of Castlevania. And I still think people are craving Castlevania, especially with the Netflix series being so successful.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really think between the Netflix series and Bloodstained, people really want Castlevania to come back in some shape or form.
I think what they kind of need to do, personally, for me, is not really start with Metal Gear. I really think they should go back to some of the Sega CD stuff or the Sega games. Like, Snatcher came to Sega CD, and unless you had a Sega CD to play the full version of Snatcher, that was the only way to get a chance to play that game and stuff. And I think if they kind of brought that back, like they brought Night Trap or something, I think Konami would be like, this is how we used to do adventure games. And yes, it's a Kojima game, but, you know, in case some people didn't know, like, we made what's the one with Harrison Ford? They made a sequel to it with Ryan Gosling.
Blade Runner. Yeah.
Snatcher was like their take on Blade Runner, or influence of Do Robots Dream of Electric Sheep? I think that's the name of it, the book. Snatcher, when it originally came out, it was a game that came on the PC in Japan. Only had 2 acts, and so they did the final act for the Sega CD, like finishing up that story. Capcom never finished it. I mean, not Capcom. Konami never finished it on PC in Japan. So if they really want to like show it, they could be like, hey, let's put this out on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Let's put out Police Knots. Let's get it localized and just show some of their old games that never came out of Japan. We could put it out there because, like, by the time you guys see this, there's a game called Bells and Whistles, which is part of the Twin B games that never really came to America. Now it's a big game in Japan by Konami. So they just got the arcade archive about that game on Switch. And it might be on other platforms too, but it's definitely, they're highlighting it on Switch. And that's a Konami game that, you know,
I mean, Konami too has shown some interest in making Switch-only games.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just...
No. You're right. You're right. You can take over. No, fine. Yeah, and it's good that you mentioned that because Bomberman was actually a really big game on Switch, and seeing that from Konami, like, of course, Konami is owners of Hudson Soft, and with some of their games and everything, they literally could remake and bring out some games from the Hudson Soft library.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, go ahead, Corey.
No, I didn't really have anything to say. I was just saying, like, I sent you that link that Konami was going to make a Switch exclusive game. I was trying to find the link, but I can't find it right now.
It's on Nintendo Life, and they updated it with some actual gameplay. Because the demo came out in Japan. So if people know how to do the Japan thing on their American Switch, they could get an idea of that game.
Yeah,
but
sorry, I was concentrating. It's hard with all this text. I have to read and listen.
Yeah. So, yeah, I believe Konami can, and I think they were, if they could bring out some licensed games and some beat 'em ups, like I would love to see what they would have done with Power Rangers as a beat 'em up game. Like,
yeah. Well, I would have liked to have seen that too, but the Konami Ninja Turtles games are just amazing. Sorry, I'm trying to.
no, yeah, and yeah, the one that came out for like GameCube and PS2 and I think Xbox. That one was okay.
Oh, the ones that were based off the cartoon.
Yeah.
The second cartoon.
Yeah, they were a little challenging, I should say.
Yeah, but they were all right though.
Yeah, they were bad.
Here.
No.
Oof.
Yeah, but I think Konami can make a comeback. Because they have a history, and
you know what other franchise of theirs is ripe for a remake is Silent Hill.
Yes.
So I mean they have a lot they could do, man. They have a lot. Like I really feel like if you took some time and you remade Metal Gear and Silent Hill and made a new Castlevania game, you're already ahead of where you were, you know.
Yes.
And I wonder if we'll get an announcement of one of those this year. I wonder if they've seen the success of what Capcom's doing, and I wonder if they like. I mean, I know they're not the same company they used to be, but I wonder if they are like really paying attention. You know, I just wonder.
I think they could. Because definitely with the way that Square Enix has kind of came back from like not so much their downfall, but people not really caring about their games. They kind of made a resurgence with Secret of Mana, with Bravely Default selling super well on 3DS. Like Square Enix, where at the time it was SquareSoft and Enix. They were both separated, but when they joined together, people thought they was going to be the RPG giant of role-playing games. And even though they had hits and stuff, not everything was sticking, and they kind of lost their way at a certain point in time. But it's like when they actually got back with Nintendo and started making games and everything, it all changed. Like a lot of that all changed.
Yeah.
So, and look at them now, like the Secret of Mana, the Collection of Mana, Trials of Mana, the way they rebooted the Tomb Raider series, like they were able to make hits for a lot of stuff, and you know what they had in the 90s and during the PlayStation era wasn't there, you know, once they started losing steam and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think Square's in a place where they need to really start assessing what they are doing and really try to, and I think they're moving in that direction too. You know, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake looks it looks good. You know, I think it looks good.
Yes.
It makes me want to play that game. You know, I've been very vocal on shows where I don't care about Final Fantasy VII at all. It's very difficult to go back to also. I think it's even more difficult to go back to than something like 8 or 9. You know, like I really do. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know why. It's extremely difficult to go back to, and I don't know. I feel like the remake is going to be something really, really cool, especially because of the real-time battle system they're kind of implementing that kind of looks like the next stage of what 15 was doing, which I also really liked 15. I know I'm kind of some reason in the minority, but I really liked 15 a lot. So we shall see. But I think Japanese games as a whole are really making their case of making a comeback, and I think it would be wise for Konami to at least dabble in coming back, which they are. You know, like you mentioned before, the Contra and Castlevania collections, and they released that Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood collection last year on PlayStation.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not like they're not interested, but I think they're trying to capitalize on reselling their old games before they. I think they're reselling their old games to garner interest in new ones.
Yes.
That's my take on it. So.
And yeah, because like the Contra Anniversary Collection is a big deal because Contra for NES, this is like the only first re-release on it when they put it in the collection. It never came to any other console, or it never got a re-release after it came out on NES, and don't nobody know why.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's good to see that we're getting a resurgence in Japanese games. I think it's important, and I really hope that there is more in the future. But we have been rolling for almost an hour. Is there anything else you want to say about Okami or Japanese games in general before we exit this episode?
I'm glad that Okami was created. I'm glad that Japanese games are making an impact and a comeback here in America. Because definitely as a kid growing up, all I played was Japanese games, or games that were developed for Japan. When American games started coming here, I kind of felt like a void was missing, and it felt like American companies were trying to prove something, and from certain people, it took away what video games were. But I'm glad that it's kind of making a comeback and like coinciding with some of the American developers of today, especially with indies also taking some of their influence and love for Japanese games and putting their idea of it in, like stuff like The Messenger. It's like a very influenced game. And I will say, for anyone who doesn't know about Retronauts and stuff, they have a episode talking about The Messenger, and it's a really good interview about that. So I say go and try that. But I do recommend anyone who has any of the platforms, wherever you could get Okami HD, physical or digital, I do recommend getting this game. It's one of my all-time favorites, and I think if you stick with it, it's a 40-hour RPG, action RPG. If you stick with it, I think you will fully be rewarded, and you will love that reward.
Yeah, definitely a really nice game, and I think it's only $20 on Switch, so that's where I'm playing it. I'm playing it on the Switch, so Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of Pod and Play. Remember, you can catch it every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This season will be 10 episodes long. This is the second episode. If you missed our DMC talk, you can go back and watch that episode as well. Really good talk about Capcom and remakes and everything there. Download the Boss Rush podcast, our flagship podcast. You can download Nintendo Power Block and Arsenal X on your podcast service of choice. Included in the Boss Rush podcast feed are Standard Definition, our retro and nostalgic show, and 1v1, our interview creator series. So I encourage you to check those out. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our content. Upcoming content includes the Indie Showcase show, which is similar to this, but we take a look at the really cool indies that are out there. And then Ed's hard mode series called Hit 'em Hard. I'm really interested to see what you're doing with that, Ed. So that stuff is all upcoming, as well as our classic content from past networks that we used to be a part of. We're going to try to get all of our content up on the Boss Rush YouTube channel and really have everything in one place in a nice, neat fashion. So you will be seeing classic episodes of Pod and Play as well. Like I said, this is season 1 of our revamped show, but we also have 4 seasons of our previous iteration of the show. So very excited that this is back. I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell for notifications if you want to watch Pod and Play every Saturday. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.